Good morning and welcome to a new week. The big thing for this week is going to be the bathroom, getting the bathroom waterproofed and lined, and the shower tank installed. But there's also probably the 240 volt is going to happen this week. So one of the first things I need to work out is just where things are going to be in the bathroom. So I'm thinking that the toilet I'm not going to have in the center of the wall. I'm actually going to have it offset to one side because I'm using a slot drain, and so I don't really want that encroached by the toilet. I don't want the toilet sitting over it, if you like. So if this drain runs kind of down the side of the toilet like that, then I've got access to lift the grate, clean it out. The reason for using a slot drain like this is I just figure that if the van's not completely level and I've got a drain that runs right along the length of the bathroom like this, I've got a better chance of collecting the water and it going down into the tank than if I just use a single point drain. So now that I know what I'm doing there and what I need to do to support the floor and all of that, I can move back to working on the walls. So I'm going to grab those bits of 6mm ply that I prepared the week before last and just have another look at the fit of those, and then start working on shaping the lining that will go in. Well, the front one fits pretty well, pretty happy with that, and I should be able to transfer the lines from that onto the lining piece that will go in here, and it will be a pretty close fit. By the time it's got a bead of sealer around the outside, it'll be pretty good. This one gap down that side is a little bigger than I would like, and there's a bit of a gap up here, which is no good. It's okay for this. The lining that goes over the top of it will not be able to be like that, so I need to make sure when I shape the lining that's going in here not to follow that line at that point. Down the bottom here, the plan is to box that part out down the bottom so that there's kind of a little spot you can put your shampoo or whatever. I'll probably put a nook in up here, but just to box out that wheel arch shape there. Also, I realized after I made this that I really should have brought this piece right out to the edge of the frame here, because the shower screen will stick onto the wall that's here. Again, not really an issue for the 6mm lining. I can just join a piece on there. I just need to make sure that when I cut the actual shower lining that I don't follow that line, that I bring it right out here. So again, need to just put a note on this so that I don't make that mistake. So this is the lining that we're going to use in the bathroom. It's a special order product from Bunnings. It's not the cheapest stuff in the world, and it's actually not the lightest either, but it means no grout lines and a properly waterproof surface. I'm not sure what it's like to cut. I have a feeling, judging by this corner here, that it may have a little bit of a tendency to chip. Just looking at that cut edge there. So I'm going to do a test cut just to see what it's like. But if I stuff this up, I've got issues, because one, it's expensive, and two, it's special order, which means another wait for more of it to come in. So I need to approach it with due caution. I suspect maybe a metal blade in the jigsaw might be the way to go. Alright, let's do a little test cut. Okay, that's alright. That's the first piece cut. Time for a first test fit of it. Now, I'm expecting it to not quite fit. Should be just a little too tight. Should be close. It's not much. A couple of millimeters. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that for a first effort. It's a pretty good fit. It fits really good now. I'm just going to take 5mm off the bottom, which will allow for the waterproofing on the floor and the coating that's going there, and just to make it not quite so tight going in and out. Well, today's forecast included the potential for quite a bit of rain, and now late in the afternoon it's finally arrived, but I've also got to the point where I can now permanently put in the 2 end pieces of 6mm ply. I've got the shower mixer and the inlet for the water into the shower wand set up and ready to go. They're sitting on a couple of pieces of wood which I'll put on from the other side. I was going to have them in there now, but then I realised that I wouldn't be able to get this sheet of lining on if I did that. So I've got some timber here for the shower rail. That's it. Let's stick this bit of ply in. Well, the goal for today is to get the floor installed, which means cutting a hole right here and getting the tank mounting sorted out as well. Well, it's taken a couple of hours work, but I now have the shower tank pre-fitted, which means that I can locate the hole in the top of it for where the drain is going to come in, and then I can get the floor laid in the bathroom, which is why I'm working on this right now. So there's the tank sitting just there below the floor. And we're just going to drop straight down into that with the waste from the shower. that's the entry for the waste into the shower tank. I just need to design and print a grommet to make the waste to the tank this evening, and then the tank can be installed. So I've 3D printed a grommet that goes in the top of the tank, and then the collar from the waste goes into that. It's quite a tight fit, so I'm not going to shove it in there now. It's kind of hard to get back out again. So I've picked up existing holes in the chassis from this side of the tank bracket mount thing. Let's see what's coming. I've just realised that I'm going to have to fit the tank after I've fitted the waste, because otherwise I've got no way of making sure that I get a seal around this cut edge of the floor between the waste drain and that cut edge. So I'm going to have to fit the tank after fitting the drain. Okay, time to put the waste in. I've got some double-sided foam tape here, partly to give me something to backfill against when I'm backfilling from underneath, and partly to stop it being a metal on metal contact there, although the glue should stop that from being the case anyway. Got some shims which are going at either end just to set the waste height where I want it. And then we just glue it in. Nice big bead of glue on there. Big glue in here. Really don't need water getting into the space between the van floor and the bathroom floor. Alright, the time has come to prime the wet area ready for sealing. I've given it a good clean. I'm using the Dunlop Express shower sealing kit. I've finished applying the tape in the corners, so it's time to put the first coat of membrane on. I should stress that I am not using this product in the way the manufacturer intends. I'm not recommending anybody else do what I'm doing. I'm just trying to have a second line of defense in terms of waterproofing in this bathroom. So I need to apply a second coat of waterproofing membrane, but before I do that, I've just been going through and checking the fit of these two end panels again to make sure that with the membrane on they're not too tight, and just adjusting the fit so that I can get them in there without damaging the membrane. not much point in going to all the effort of putting the membrane on if when putting the panels in I damage the very part of the membrane that's most likely to see a leak. I'm just going to need to remove a little bit down in this corner because it's not able to get over the tape that's in that corner. While I'm waiting for the waterproofing membrane to go off, I'm working on setting up the plumbing for the shower. Now, a lot of people, building plans, use the John Guest system, and that's fine. I've used it before. Plastic fittings though, not that keen. So I've decided to go for PEX, which the other advantage of is it's easily available from Bunnings. I can easily go get more of it if I don't have what I need. Brass fittings, so a bit stronger, and so that's what I'm going to use. Alright, well, the time has come to put the first coating of the final finish on the floor. What I'm using is this Flex Seal liquid rubber. It's not really entirely what it's intended for, but it does say on the can, caravans and campers, and it says projects and hobbies and so much more. Well, this is a project and not so much a hobby. This is either a really good idea or a really bad idea. Nearly dropped it on my face. Gotcha. Oh, Paul Bretherton, if you're watching, this reminds me of bilge diving on the Ruby. It's probably a bit dark, but that was in aid of putting in those two pickups for the diesel heater and the diesel hot water heater. Good morning, Friday morning, continuing on with plumbing related things this morning. Can't do anything more on the shower right at the moment while I wait for the sealer on the floor to go off before I can do another coat. So I'm going to work on tank mounting, because that's next week's work, is get the other tanks mounted and the plumbing done. So I'm going to work on that today while I wait to be able to carry on with the bathroom. I suspect that I will end up not finishing the bathroom until early next week. That's fine as long as I'm able to keep working and start work on next week's work. So let's make some frames for the other 2 tanks. Tank fits, weld it up properly. G'day everyone, it's Saturday. I wanted to talk a little bit about blessings in disguise, because it's been in some ways a bit of a frustrating 24 hours. I had noticed that the marker light on the sliding door stopped working altogether, and the way that the marker light works is that it has these 2 pins that contact points on the door, and when I looked at that I realized that it was not making contact anymore, and it was because the door was sitting too low. So I tried to adjust the door to sit higher, but in the midst of all of that, in adjusting the door, I realized that there was an issue with the door. The door runs, as sliding doors do, on a set of tracks, one at the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle. And the one in the middle, which you can just see here, was not looking right, and it was on a funny angle, was drooped. I wasn't really quite sure how to sort it out. It was obviously an issue. After lots of messing around and trying to adjust the door, and I thought I had it pretty good, and then I went to close the door for the final time last night, and the bottom runner popped off its track, and I realized that something was definitely very badly wrong. Anyway, I took a closer look at the center runner, the one at the back, and noticed that the angle of it didn't look right. I was able to take the center runner out of the door. Sure enough, it was cracked and twisted and drooped. It wasn't far off, I think, from complete failure, and that would have meant that the whole back end of the door would drop when you open the door. So I took it apart, was able to get it back into the correct alignment and shape. Got it back into shape, and I've welded it up. I think it's a good strong solution for now. I am going to source the correct part, and the reason that I'm saying this is blessings in disguise is it's relatively easy to do now, to sort now. But if that failed when we were in the middle of the outback somewhere, and the door fell off, that'd be a major pain in the neck. So really, I'm happy that this has happened now and come to light. The crack in the part had been there for a long time. It was quite evident from looking at it. There was only a little bit of the crack that was fresh, if you like, and the rest of it had showed the signs of age. I've got it back together now, and the door is actually opening and shutting and sealing better than it has since we've had the ban. So hopefully that will do us for the time being until I can get the replacement part. So anyway, just a story about blessings in disguise. And I was trying to figure out this problem yesterday, and I came to the end of the day and I said, God, what is going on here? Would you show me what's happening and how to sort it out? And it was as I prayed that then it came to me. I saw what the issue was. I was able to figure out how to get the part out and make at least a temporary repair. So yeah, blessings in disguise. In other exciting news, we have had our 240 volt fit off. Yesterday I went off to see the Sparky that we were using, and together we got the 240 volt all fitted off. This is the freshwater tank, and the plan is I'm just tacking these upright pieces onto the frame, and I'm just making sure that the tank still fits into the frame, which it does. So this one's going to be an issue though. The others are all okay. So I probably need to just break this tack and just lean this out a bit. I don't want it that close to the tank. So the plan is that these pieces of steel will mount on, set up in the chassis, across the chassis, and these pieces will bolt to them and suspend the tank, which is why I need a bit more space here. The ply is really just to protect the bottom of the tank from stones and stuff. That's better. That's what I wanted. A little bit more of a gap there. So basically what I'm doing now is setting up the bolts that will bolt through up the top here, so that I can bolt all this together before I weld this. It will just help to combat any movement just as I weld. Probably won't stop it altogether, which will mean I probably will have to open up the holes in this piece. So as expected, the tensions introduced from welding the frame up meant that the bolt holes didn't quite line up anymore. They were quite tight when I took them out, but only by a couple of mils. So I've opened the holes up from 10 mil to 11 mil. Yay! Well, the great news is the plan works. It's possible to get the tank in like that. That's going to be it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed the varied work this week. It's been a good week, I think, overall. We've got the 240 done, which is great. We've got bathroom is ready to line now. I finished the floor coating is done, so the linings can go in. That'll probably happen Monday. In amongst working on mounting tanks. So thanks for joining me. Great you could be a part of the journey with us, and hope we'll see you next time. See ya.